Tonight's show had two big matches advertised ahead of time, with one being for a belt that has been getting a lot of attention in recent months. Bobby Lashley put his United States Heavyweight Championship on the line against Seth Rollins, and the other pre advertised bout was Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. Let's take a look at everything that happened on tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock. Bullock and I did not have our Raw chat tonight, one of the rare nights we did not have one, but if he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed, or if not, then we'll see him Wednesday night for a very exciting edition of Wednesday Night Madness, to say the very least, and we'll address that at the end of the show. But nonetheless, Monday Night Raw, another week, another Monday Night Raw, and we are live, and we were live tonight from the SAP Center, the Shark Tank in San Jose, California, the home of the San Jose Sharks of the NHL. And what has Monday Night Raw always been known for so many years at the start? Elongated windbag talking segment. Not tonight. Oh no. They started it in the biggest way possible. I guess this show must have been asked backwards, because we were starting out with the match that we all thought was going to be the main event tonight, and it ended up kicking it off. We jump-started it with it. The United States Heavyweight Championship matchup, the almighty Bobby Lashley defending against Seth frickin' Rollins, and the winner of the match in 20 minutes and 15 seconds, and still the United States Heavyweight Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley, with a little help from Matt Riddle, as Riddle cost Seth Rollins the U.S. title as he was closing in on it. So there is absolutely no doubt about this. This was the fight of the night. I mean, wow. They did a great job booking the match, so the challenger was in control most of the time in a believable way. Crowd was hot from start to finish, and the superstars in the ring did not let them down by giving a mediocre performance. It's almost odd this wasn't slotted for the main event, because management had to know it was going to be a great match. And while it would have been nice to get a clean finish, the interference makes sense given how WWE has built up Riddle and Rollins in recent weeks. And WWE can turn Rollins babyface whenever they want. I mean, he is already over with this gimmick, and a lot of people cheer him anyway, so the transition would be easy and quick. Lashley stopping the curb stomp by simply being too strong for Rollins to power down to the mat was an amazing spot. Rollins hit two tope suicidas in a row, but the second one had a bit of a rough landing. And hitting someone like Lashley with a running buckle bomb is so impressive and really shows off how strong Rollins is. Because of, Riddle with the distraction that allowed Lashley to hit the spear and get the win, the highest I can go on this would be 4.25. I think that's the appropriate rating for this match. You can make an argument for 4.5 if you want to give it 4.5. I wouldn't be mad at you. I wouldn't, but I can make an argument that it was a 4.5 star match, but I'm gonna bump it down to 4.25 because of the distraction by Riddle. Even though from a storyline perspective it does make sense, but and it is what it is. So but no doubt about it, fight of the night, and there isn't much more to say. It lived up to the hype. I mean, when this match became official, we got uber excited over it, and I'm not at all surprised they delivered. So 4.25 for me. So MF, come on in. No talking segment to start tonight. Oh no, we didn't have a promo to start this show like we usually get almost week in and week out. We had ourselves a match to start tonight. But not just any match. A match that very easily could have been the main event tonight. Bobby Lashley, Seth frickin' Rollins, United States Heavyweight Championship. First fight of the night right out of the box? Wow.
And they blew it out of the box. 4.25 stars, no doubt about it. You can make an argument for fight of the night, yes. But it did tell a story. It was Rollins was determined to try to win the United States title. Bobby Lashley doing everything in his power to keep the belt. It was a great back and forth. Both men went over really well. But like you said, it was the ending that's going to be the most talked about. Riddle costing Rollins the U.S. title is the biggest talking point. Um, it was a great match, no doubt about it, and there's really nothing more to add. So, Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, and we move on. Um, it was a championship celebration for Damage Control. The hometown girl, Bayley, as you know, a resident of San Jose, California, along with the brand new women's tag team champions, Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And they cut their promo, and then they get interrupted by Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. And it sets up for what actually ended up being the main event tonight. A renewal of a once great women's rivalry, and one we haven't seen in years. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss in the main event. So we'll get into that when we get to it. The other big advertising point for this show tonight, Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. Kevin Owens wins the match, 13 minutes and 15 seconds, and it was yet another distraction. This time it was Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano hijacked Austin Theory's Money in the Bank briefcase, and it was enough for KO to hit him with a super kick and then a pop-up powerbomb. 1, 2, 3, KO picks up another win over Austin Theory and MF. I mean, while this was another very good match, yes, and yes, there was another distraction, but there's one thing when I was watching this match, there was one thing that is a little concerning for me, and that is the Money in the Bank winner keeps losing matches. They've always done this, and they're still doing it, even with Big Magma gone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that. But the thing is, Anthony, is that unlike the past, this time around, Austin Theory is losing to guys that is top quality wrestlers. It's not that they're losing to scrubs. They're not losing to bad guys. It's that the Money in the Bank holder right now, Austin Theory, he's been losing to guys like what? He got himself involved in the thing with Roman Reigns, got involved with Brock Lesnar. He now is losing matches to Kevin Owens. This is not like, I know where you're going. I get where you're coming from. But this isn't like back in the day. This is a lot different. And trust me, Theory will benefit from this. And I get it that a lot of people feel like, oh, Theory was more of a Vince guy. And now that Triple H is at the helm, that they're trying to humble him enough so that, with the whole 9 yards. And he's going to get his moment. Obviously, I believe he'll probably beat Johnny Gargano in that match whenever that fight happens, because they want to make him strong enough. Now, if he loses to Gargano, now I'm talking problems. Then I would be jumping on the bandwagon with you. But right now, no, I'm not going to go there. I get where you're coming from, but to me, this was a solid fight. And the thing is, it's not like Theory's getting buried. He's just losing matches. He's having very good performances, but he's just coming up a little short. And this time around, he got screwed in the match. It wasn't that. But the thing is that it is his own wrongdoing. He's the one that started the fight with Johnny Gargano. He's the one that's been picking the fight the whole way around. Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And tonight, Austin Theory found a harsh lesson about that here tonight on Monday Night Raw. So this was about 3 stars. So Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.25 to 3.5 for this. Another one of the top fights of the night. These two had a fun physical battle that took them all over the ringside area. Austin Theory is already a great athlete, but Kevin Owens elevates everyone just a bit more. Johnny Gargano showed up to prevent Theory from using the briefcase, allowing the prize fighter to hit the pop-up powerbomb for the win. 2 matches in a row with distraction finishes is not ideal, But again, the booking makes sense, so it's hard to be completely mad about it, even though I am a little concerned, like I said. But it's even harder to be upset when both bouts were highly enjoyable. Um, and that's really all there is to say on that. So I got a little ahead of myself. Big news coming out in the world of professional wrestling. Couple of big announcements. Friday Night SmackDown coming to the newly named Amica Mutual Pavilion the night before Survivor Series, Friday, November 25th. And speaking of Survivor Series, the big news today, War Games is coming to WWE. It's coming to the main roster. Whoa.
And on top of that, Triple H also announced that this year it will not be Raw versus SmackDown.
Nope.
It will be storyline based. That's going to trigger the War Games. And with the way this is breaking out, the way this is setting up, I think I found one on the women's side. Because they said there's going to be one man and one woman for the War Game.
Yes.
I think for the men, I think it's going to be the Bloodline. And I think they're going to go up again. And here's my four. I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens. I think at that time, Sami Zayn will turn and join Owens. And the fourth man, I believe, if he's back in time, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
For the women, I think it will be 3 members of Damage Control. I think it will be Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and the fourth I don't really know right now. The fourth is a toss-up. It could be anybody. I believe on the other side, it'll be Bianca Belair, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and if she comes back in time, the man, Becky Lynch.
Man, that would be something. But wow. War Games on the main roster and at Survivor Series.
TD Garden, get ready. I don't know if you're ready for this.
Oh, my
2 rings and a 30-foot cage on each end, because you got to think about it. Regular cage is about 15 feet, 15 foot high.
Right.
But the thing is, you got to double that. So you're doubling the length. And we're not talking the height, because the height will probably still be 15 feet. You got the roof off. Well, no, wait.
They don't use. I don't think they use.
They don't use the roof on the War Games cage.
No, they don't. They didn't use the roof whenever they did it in NXT.
No. So if this is like the NXT version of the War Games cage, yeah, there will be no roof. It's just gonna be 2 cages extended out about. So you're talking 30 feet.
Yeah.
Because 30 feet in length to cover 2 rings. Oh, dear Lord.
And can you imagine if they add at least 1, maybe 2 or so traditional Survivor Series matches on top of that? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, because you kind of have to feel like now you got to start thinking rivalries. Okay, who could be involved in these matches? Because you're gonna probably have to eliminate titles and everything else. This might be the one night where titles might not be on the line.
Perhaps
Which
not.
where honestly, Do we have a problem with that? If those titles are not defended as Survivor Series,
Not at all.
I think this is the one night where we could get away with that.
I
So
agree. I agree.
we'll
So,
see.
but nonetheless, though, folks, War Games coming to the main roster, and it's going to happen at Survivor Series. Man, I don't know what else there is to say. It hasn't been said already. So, with all that being said, let's continue on with tonight's Raw. We left off at Theory and Owens. And then from there, and then we get a surprise. We got some surprise visitors here from Friday Night SmackDown, the number one contenders for the undisputed Universal Tag Team Championship, or Undisputed Tag Team Championship, rather. The Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch. And they cut a promo, and then they get interrupted by the Street Profits, and it leads into a tag team matchup. And here's SmackDown versus Raw for you. Brawling Brutes versus the Street Profits, and the Brawling Brutes win the match in roughly an even 13 minutes. And I believe this goes to me here, so yeah, another good match. After a highly competitive bout, Holland and Butch scored a clean win to give them some momentum heading into their title shot against the Usos this Friday night on SmackDown in Salt Lake City, Utah, which we got some interesting circumstances regarding that. Not that match, but our thoughts on it. We'll address that in the future content as well. But Angelo Dawkins gets impressive height on his dropkicks, especially for a man of his size. It's always nice when both tag teams in a match have coordinated gear, but teams that make no effort to look like partners are fine. But when two people go to the effort to match, it's more fun for some odd reason. And this was a very solid matchup here. This was another 3 1/4 to 3.5, and I'm not even mad at it because of normally Raw versus SmackDown, usually I take that very seriously, but especially now that this year's Survivor Series will not be Raw versus SmackDown, that's going to be for the first time since 2015. The last 6, I want to say, the last 6 Survivor Series were built around Raw versus SmackDown. Not this time, but and I always took it very seriously. And usually I would go on a rant and say, "Oh, SmackDown beat Raw. That's not right." But in this case, you know what? I don't care. I'm not mad at it. Reason being, the Brawling Brutes are the number one contenders, and you need to give them all the momentum in the world. You got to make them look as strong as humanly possible. If we want to take them as a serious threat to the Usos, even though I hate to say it, I think the Usos are going to go over. There's probably going to be some more bloodline shenanigans. Wouldn't surprise me. So, but we'll wait and see come Friday night. So, but I'll give it 3 1/4 to 3.5 for the effort. Very good match. Another very good match on this night tonight. So, not much more to say. MF, your Brawling Brutes, they come in from SmackDown, and they take care of the Street Profits, pick up a huge win, and now big momentum for them going into the biggest match of their young reign as a tag team as they square off against the Usos Friday night on SmackDown for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. So MF, it's yours.
Yeah, solid match, no doubt about it. This could have gone either way, but the Brawling Brutes does get a big win. This was a 3.5-star match. 3 to 3 1/4, solid match. There was really nothing more to say about it. You practically summed it up. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. This was really good. So Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. See what else we have. And it was announced that next Monday night on Raw, we're gonna have Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens versus the Alpha Academy in a tag team match. Woo, that's gonna be good. Get ready for that, Edmonton, because that's where Raw's gonna be next week, Edmonton, Alberta. So That's going to be something. And then we had the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day, all 4 members, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, they cut a promo. And I noticed during that promo, Dominic was a little awkward because it was in front of a live crowd. It wasn't a pre-taped vignette like it was a week ago. A little awkward because I think he actually let the fans get to him, but that's one of the first rules of the business. You can't let the fans get to you. I mean, MF and we could cut a heel promo or a face promo, regardless of what the fans do. But I don't know. But that's just me. But then it led into the next match as they were interrupted by the entrances of their opponents. As it was Finn Balor and Damian Priest squaring off against Matt Riddle and Rey Mysterio. And Balor and Priest, they pick up the win, 17 minutes and 40 seconds for this match. And MF, here we go, another match and another good one. As Balor and Priest knock off Mysterio and Riddle. Yes, another little bit of an overbooked finish there, but nonetheless, Balor and Priest MF pick up the win, 17 minutes and 40 seconds, and another very good match.
Yeah, another very good match, another 3.5-star fight. You even said it. Dominic looked a little like he looked lost in that promo. I think he did not expect that heat from the fans. Normally you're able to control it in the situation, but yeah, this was some monster heat that he suffered, and at the end of the day, that was what we had. So there's really nothing more to add. Everybody played their parts really well, and yeah, floor is yours.
Another 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star match for this. The second half of the match had a bit of a faster pace and saw all 4 men hit some impressive moves, but it never quite reached the same level of the previous tag match with the Profits and the Brutes in terms of intensity. This bout had the most outside interference of any match on the show, thanks to Dom and Rhea Ripley. So Riddle and Ray were fighting an uphill battle the whole time. Seth Rollins tried to get involved, but Ray chased him off with a chair. And then Balor was able to score the win with the coup de grace, or as Luigi always used to call it, the coup de grace. The match was good, but the amount of interference hindered it a bit. The good news is the father-son drama was done well enough to keep that story going. 3.5, 3 3/4. And the crowd was giving Dominic some serious heel heat whenever he tried to talk. It was almost at the same levels of Vicky Guerrero, excuse me, levels of heat. And even X-Pac was probably surprised by how loud it was. And Ripley was being louder than expected at ringside. Her presence added a lot to the match. Ripley hitting Riddle with a back suplex on the floor was a fun moment. And Dominic daring his dad to hit him with a steel chair only for Ray to put it down and get in the ring was done well. They're building this like Brett and Owen. It's simple as that. So 3.5, 3 3/4 for that. Then from there, it was Miz TV, and Miz and Tommaso Ciampa, and they called out Dexter Lumis, and we thought Lumis wasn't going to show, and then Miz, was talking all this stuff behind his back, and oh yeah, about that. Dexter Lumis does it again. What have we seen from this guy over the last few weeks? Hides in the back of Miz's rental car. He gets inside Miz's house. And now he pulls an Undertaker from the In Your House in Louisville back in 1996 during the Bret and Diesel cage match. He comes up from under the ring. He comes up from under the ring and tries to pull the Miz and Ciampa down the hell with him.
And the thing is, the funny thing was, you should have saw it because he used a knife and just sliced the ring.
Yep.
There was a knife, and did you see the size of the knife? He literally, that was like one of those butcher knives. He sliced the ring, and you're like, oh my. I don't think anybody noticed. I thought Miz was going to go through the hole at first because he was pretty dangerously close until Loomis showed up. And then I was like, oh my freaking God.
I know, but interesting. And then from there, we have two big main events announced for next week's Raw in Edmonton. I already mentioned about Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano versus the Alpha Academy. How about Matt Riddle versus Damian Priest one-on-one?
That should be a pretty good matchup.
And we're gonna get that next week as well. So two more good matches next week when Raw comes to Edmonton, Alberta. And then some backstage stuff, Judgment Day with an interview with Kevin Patrick, and then shortly after, MF, I know you had to be salivating. I know you always salivate whenever you see Finn Balor and AJ Styles on the same screen.
Oh my God. Bullet Club, let's go.
Yep. I know that I immediately thought of you, and I'm like, it's an MF special. So, because we know the history. I mean, these were the two men who made Bullet Club what it is, so we'll see what happens. And now we go to the main event of the evening, which was Bayley squaring off against Alexa Bliss. And excuse me for one moment here. Whoa, okay. My notes disappeared on me for a moment. But, alright, I got him. Yeah, main event, it was Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Of course, their respective partners were all in their corner. Winner of the match, 15 minutes and 5 seconds. It was Bayley. Bayley with the roast plant off a distraction by Dakota Kai and Io Sky. What else is new? So MF, Bayley knocks off Alexa in the main event, 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Their first match since Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania 35, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I know. Solid match, solid main event. About 3 to 3.5 stars, but I gotta say it, man. I get where a lot of people were a little angry about because of the fact that Bayley kind of snuck one, got away. But the thing is that if you're gonna make a powerful stable, a lot of the times it's always strength in numbers. And that's what happened this time around. Dakota and Io definitely helps out. And that could be the way where Bayley could walk away with the title. And as a matter of fact, if you notice at the end, Bianca Belair tried to get involved and she ended up getting jumped 3-on-1. And then the other big story, Anthony, Bayley called a shot. She said it. She wants Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title at Extreme Rules. So now we got the time. Now we got the place. And Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, get ready because it's coming to you. You guys get the golden ticket on this one. So nothing more to say. Solid main event. It's yours.
And MF, I got some breaking news that I have to share that I just came across a few moments ago, and I'm going to. I'm checking into this. Just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure that this is confirmed. Oh my God, it is. It's not regarding Bianca and Bayley. It's not that.
Okay.
This has just been added. I just found this on Instagram, and I can confirm it through WWE.com. All right, MF. You are already excited. We're already excited about War Games coming to the main roster, and we're gonna get that at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Well, guess what we're getting at Extreme Rules? This is just for you, my man, because I know how much you love this particular match. On the other brand, that is. At Extreme Rules, Seth frickin' Rollins versus Matt Riddle. Fight Pit.
A fight? Whoa! No way!
Yes way. It's official. Riddle Rollins in the fight pit, a la NXT.
Oh my god!
How's that for breaking news?
Wow! I remember the fight pit. Oh god!
Yup. You, if that's not Extreme Rules, tell me what is.
All of a sudden, WWE just went UFC. You remember? You know the fight pit.
My
You've
man
seen
Timothy
the fight
Thatcher.
pit.
My
Huh?
man Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah. And Riddle is made for this fight. He's got the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He does some MMA from time to time. Doing a fight pit. Oh, you're throwing this right in Riddle's wheelhouse. But it's Rollins. Oh, wow. The fight pit.
Coming to the main roster
Oh, my God. I can't believe that.
at Extreme Rules
And Extreme Rules in Philly?
in Philly.
Wow. Well, Philly loves their fights. I know that much. They used to be a boxing capital way back when. At one time, everybody remembers there was some legendary fights at the Fourth State Spectrum way back when. And because that was when World Championship Boxing, you know, before they had all the divisions and multiple belts, whenever you had a boxing fight in Philadelphia, and they had some very good boxers way back when in Philly, New York, Chicago. So when we talk about fight capitals, this is one of them. Philly loves a good fight, and they're not. I don't know if they're really into the MMA thing, but to throw a fight pit in that building, in that city, man, WWE, you guys are pulling the tug strings out of our hearts. This is why it's a godsend that Triple H is running this company now.
Amen.
Because we would never get this.
With McMahon? Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. But we're getting the fight pit. We're getting War Games.
At Survivor Series?
Are you kidding me? They are going for it. This is...
That's your boy. That's your boy, MF.
Dude, this is literally moves on move on move to absolutely take the wrestling world by storm. And they're going to get the headlines. When this comes out, when this gets announced, well, it's already been announced because you confirmed it. Yep. But when this goes out to the rest of the world, oh man, they're going to go nuts. They're going to go absolutely crazy with this news. Like, I got people talking to me earlier today about the War Games. Like, everybody was losing their mind when the announcement was made that War Games was coming to Boston.
Yep.
So, people are looking for tickets now. And good luck trying to find it, because I'm pretty sure after the announcement of War Games, I think they're sold out. I don't think you can get tickets for Boston.
No.
I don't think you're going to be able to get tickets for Boston. I think tickets are gone. And the fear is, with SmackDown coming to Providence, we might need to jump quick to get our tickets, or else we might be on the outside looking in. Because from what I've been hearing, ever since Triple H has been taking Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, they've been selling out like crazy.
Pre-sale Wednesday for those. The pre-sale on Wednesday and the full-on sale Friday. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. So.
Start making plans now, folks.
Absolutely. So. All right, just wanted to share that little bit of breaking news for you with you all. So, yep, an MF hype man. You did it exactly as I knew you would. That was exactly perfectly the right way to do that. Absolutely. All right. As for my thoughts on the main event, 3.5 stars for this. They kept on the mat. They kept the rest of the match competitive with both women coming close to winning a few times before Io Sky knocked Bliss off the top rope so Bayley could score the win. They're telling a story with Bliss's character not being the same as she was, and yet they couldn't have her take a clean loss, and you can't protect everyone. But I'll give this 3.5 stars for the effort. And there was history, and Bayley got the payback from the Payback pay-per-view 5 years ago, the same building where Alexa Bliss defeated Bayley to win her first Raw Women's Championship. Payback 2017. Look it up on Peacock. Alexa Bliss has some of the best facial expressions in all of professional wrestling. She is so expressive and uses it to her advantage, and that's it. So another 3.5. Overall thoughts. The only criticism when it comes to this week's show, way too much outside interference. However, the matches were all strong, and we got some good storyline developments with a few teases for other things. So it definitely had its moments. And
when it comes to prospects, I always like to add based on
got caught with a pop up there. All right. But overall, it was another entertaining Monday Night Raw, despite the irritating distraction finishes. And the show wisely didn't give away too much with the very stiff competition in the form of the only Monday Night Football doubleheader of this year. And that's really all there is. So I could probably maybe give this because all the matches were good. I mean, we didn't have one bad match on this show, not one. And all the matches were like 3 stars or higher, and some other good things here and there. So I probably would give this right around 7.5 to 8. I think that's the appropriate rating for this. So not much more to say. MF, let's get to your overall thoughts, and then I'll get into my quick Tony's take here.
Yeah, I gotta say about 7.5. Solid, good show. So really nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. So with that, now we're gonna get into my Tony's take for this week, and this one, you know how we always do it. Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up, and we are gonna get into Impact Wrestling, and just give me a moment as I let it come up here. All right. We started it off with an X Division Championship match. The champion, Speedball Mike Bailey, defending against Mascara Dorada. That's formerly Grand Metalik, for everybody who remembers him from WWE. Winner of the match. I don't have a time of the fall, but Mike Bailey won the match. 4 stars. Excellent opening match. Mike Bailey continues to give out banger after banger after banger and having great title defenses. I would not mind if they run this back again. Absolutely not. Then from there, we had a tag team matchup. We had Crazy Steve and Black Taurus of Decay going up against Steve Macklin and Moose. And it was Decay actually winning the match. 2 stars. I was not really a big fan of this tag match. They did the Can They Coexist stuff. Wasn't really crazy about that. Killer Kelly versus Alicia Edwards. Killer Kelly wins the match. 3 stars. Sleeper fight of the night. Good back and forth action between these 2 knockouts. I thought they were going to have Killer squash Alicia easy, but no, they let Alicia hang with her. One of her best matches. Then from there, World Tag Team Championships on the line. The champions. Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Ivana No More. They're now known as the OGK. Obviously, I'm guessing that stands for Original Kingdom. Of course, MF knows all about that faction from back in the ROH days. And they went up against the World Heavyweight Champion, Josh Alexander and Rich Swann. Winners of the match, via disqualification, Josh Alexander and Rich Swann. Alexander and Swann win the match, but it was a DQ finish, so they don't win the titles. 2.5 stars. It wasn't a bad match. It was a good little tag team title match. Wasn't crazy about the DQ finish. I get that they're trying to protect the World Heavyweight Champion, and they didn't want the Kingdom to lose their titles this quickly, so they were backed into a corner. Mickie James on her, I guess we could call this her Ric Flair-like farewell tour. She went up against Hyann. Mickie wins the match, 2.5 stars. It was a squash match for James. The outcome, not surprising. And Mickey's next match will be this Friday night as part of the Victory Road special on Impact Plus. And she's going to have her toughest test when it comes to this little Ric Flair-like farewell tour. And that is the quintessential, the diva on that show, Giselle Shaw. So Giselle Shaw will be facing Mickie James on Friday night as part of Victory Road. And I say Ric Flair like farewell tour in case you may not be aware. Mickie James is doing this Ric Flair like farewell tour. It's very reminiscent of that. She's gonna wrestle, these women from the bottom of the roster all the way to the top until she gets the opportunity to go for the Knockouts Championship one more time. She wants one more run with the Knockouts title. But if she loses any matches, the next match she loses, just like Ric Flair, her career is over. So anytime Mickie James comes on your screen, enjoy it. That's all I'm gonna say, and I know MF you will, because you've been her biggest supporter all these years. So, but anywho, that just wanted to make sure you all knew what was going on with that. Then from there, in the main event, the Motor City Machine Guns squaring off against the Good Brothers. Motor City Machine Guns win the match. Another 4-star match. Great main event between these two teams. What a way for the Good Brothers to end their run in Impact Wrestling. And 8 out of 10. Great episode of Impact this week. The X Division Championship opener was a banger, and so was the main event. And those are the two matches I can easily recommend. We got more matches confirmed for Victory Road. We got some squashes. Didn't like the ending of the World Tag Team title match for the DQ finish. Besides that, and the Moose and Steve Maclin, can they coexist storyline, and their tag match was bad. I wouldn't have had Decay win. I would have had Moose and Maclin win to get some momentum into their barbed wire massacre with Sami Callihan, also at Victory Road. So, but that was an 8 out of 10 anyway. So with that being said, let's now set the table for what we can expect this Thursday night on Impact Wrestling, the Go Home show for Victory Road. Oh, here's an MF special for you, MF. Aussie Open versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Oh, you're gonna love that. Brian Myers versus Bhupinder Gujjar. Ladder match for the Digital Media Championship. And Jordan Grace is going one-on-one with Ziggy Dice. Yeah, okay. And that's going to be the go-home show for Victory Road. And speaking of Victory Road, let me set the table for what you can expect on that. 7 matches on the card. It will be Killer Kelly one-on-one with Tasha Steelz. Mickie James versus Giselle Shaw in another Mickie James career-threatening match. Mickie loses. Her career's over. 6-man tag team action. World Heavyweight Champion Josh Alexander, Rich Swann, and Heath will square off against Eddie Edwards and Impact World Tag Team Champions Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Honor no more. We're going to have ourselves an intergender triple threat revolver to become the #1 contender for the X Division Championship. Alex Zane versus Black Taurus versus Frankie Kazarian versus Kenny King versus the Laredo Kid, Trey Miguel, Yuya Uemura, and Mia Yim. Okay. All right, MF. This next match, I got to address. It's a championship match. It's the only championship match on the card, but the challenger is someone you know very well. Speedball Mike Bailey is going to defend the X Division Championship at Victory Road. And MF, I know you know this guy very well. Delirious. I think you know who that is. But yeah, Speedball Mike Bailey is going to defend the X Division Championship against Delirious. Jordan Grace versus Max the Impaler. This is a pick your poison match via Masha Slamovich. And then in the main event of the evening, Moose versus Sammy Callahan versus Steve Macklin in a 3-way barbed wire massacre match. And if you haven't seen those, if you have Impact Plus like I do, go back and relive them. Especially the inaugural one with Abyss and Sabu. That was nuts. So that's all there is to say on that. So I will have a recap of that of Victory Road next week here on Ridiculously Raw. So with that being said, let's quickly get into NXT Level Up, and then we'll call it here. Just trying to find it here. Okay. We had Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley in a women's tag team match against Erica Yan and Sloane Jacobs. Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley win in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. It was okay, if a little disjointed at times. 1.25 stars for that. Bronco Nima versus Duke Hudson. And Duke Hudson wins the match, 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Solid, if super basic, Hoss fight. No complaints there. Hudson getting the win is the right call as well. 2 stars. And then it was Amari Miller versus Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell in 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Not really a fan of this one, as it was 3 minutes of chin lock and then not much else before the finish. Indy winning, obviously the right call, but not much with this one. Index still rules, though. Half star. 4.5 out of 10. Not a fan of this past week's show, which happens at times. For what it is, though, it's still a fine way to spend 25 minutes, as the crowd loves it and all the matches are short. Overall, though, a down week for the true developmental brand. So, 4.5 out of 10. And with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We'll be back with you Wednesday night. MF, what time? 10 p.m. as always? Just want to make sure we have the proper start times for the shows. So Wednesday night, it will be Wednesday Night Madness, and we got a huge show. The first NXT. You saw it last week. NXT 2.0 is no more. We're going back to the original NXT, and we're gonna review that. And on top of that, we're also gonna review AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, Arthur Ashe Stadium, Flushing Meadows, headlined by Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And we will preview Thursday Night Football between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. That will be on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm assuming 10:30, I'm sure. It will be the Week 4 edition of College Football Thursday. Some another round of exciting matchups to get into there. And then, all right, now here's the caveat here. Because Rampage is going to be a special 2-hour show because of the Grand Slam on Friday night, we are not going to have a show on Friday night. What we're going to do is Saturday, we're going to do the NFL show as we always do, TXN Sports World NFL Saturday, week 3 edition. Headliner, obviously, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. That's the big game right there. And then we're going to have ourselves a rare special Sunday night edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Time to be determined on Sunday night, as we will have Friday Night SmackDown and the AEW Rampage Grand Slam. So, a lot to get into, and then we'll be right back here next week for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness over on MF's channel, Raceway 95, it's Anthony Floyo here for Good Old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.